welcome back to my YouTube channel, Vish-O-Pedia. Today's video is based on the symptoms of depression. Now, in my previous videos, I've spoken about causes of depression, and today's videos, I'll talk about what are the symptoms, what you can see, which can help you identify that whether you are going through depression or not. Now, depression, it's loop of energy. If you see the loop, right, it's always closed, which means once you go into it, you can come out of it. Now, it's a loop of energy which has high and low. Now, depression, which is a psychological state, is directly proportional to your physiological state. It means your physical body language. So, for example, if someone is depressed, right, and you see their body language, the chin will be down, the shoulders will be forward, the chest will go back, they will be very low in energy, and they cannot get excited. They always want to find things where they're just, they'll just stay there. They're not physically very active. That is low part of that loop, right? What is the high part? The high part is the aggressive mode, right? Aggressive mode, which means the shoulders will go back, chin will go high, chest will come out, and you'll be in aggressive stance, right? So that is low and high of that loop, right? Now, what happens when you hit the low? When you hit the low, you will have the feeling of very low energy, that you don't have any energy to do anything. You don't feel self-motivated to do anything. You feel like crying. You feel like a feeling of being worthless. You feel like there is no motivation for anything. You don't want to care about anyone. You don't want to care about yourself. In some cases, people feel like they're not worth living, and they have suicidal tendencies. In high, when you hit the high of that loop, what happens is you immediately become very aggressive, right? You frequently argue with everyone around you. You want to smash things, you want to hit people, you want to hit yourself. Self-harming tendencies are very high in these kind of situations. You become very violent. A lot of domestic violence happens because of that. Your behavior can cause damage to the object's property, to human beings or even animals, right? So the psychological state is always proportional to the physiological state, right? Now, because human beings are not designed to stay in one particular energy level. So if your energy level is low, where you're feeling worthless and all, then you cannot maintain that energy level because it's too low. It will go high. That is the whole process of the loop, that immediately you will hit high, you will end up in fighting, aggressive behavior, and causing injuries to yourself or someone else, right? So that's what happens when you are in depression, right? That's why you will see that all the monks, they do not have very high energy or very low energy. They are just neutral, because it's easier to maintain that neutral energy. You can always maintain where you are at peace. You're not very excited, you're not very sad, you're just in the middle. That is easier to maintain for a long time. Low and high, you cannot stay angry whole day. You can get angry for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, but you cannot stay angry for whole day. If you are upset, you're sad, you cannot stay sad, which is a very low energy, for whole day. You'll go high and you'll get angry. So it will keep on hitting the loop up and down. Okay, so what are the other symptoms which we look for? Other symptoms is like loss of appetite. Sometimes people lose appetite, sometimes people gain appetite to suppress the emotional state of mind, right? So in most of the cases, it happens that people find they cannot eat anything. They feel like they don't feel hungry anymore. They just lose it completely. In some cases, people overeat things to suppress that emotion, right? But in most of the cases, people do tend to turn towards alcohol, smoking, hardcore drugs, right? They want to be self-isolated. They don't want to talk to anyone. They want to just be in their room. They have no interest in social activity. They don't want to meet new people. They don't want to meet anyone in the family. They find it hard to laugh at jokes, in funny situations. They can't enjoy funny situations. They feel like crying, or they cry for no reason, right? So these are other few symptoms of a person who is going through depression. Now, sometimes you will see similar situations when you are going through anxiety, right? But do not misunderstand anxiety as depression. Depression is a very long, you cannot get depressed in a day or two. It takes a long time to get depressed, right? You have to get very strong emotions, you have to anchor those, you have to install triggers, and it takes long time to actually go into depression. Anxiety is a short term. Anxiety is, it can display similar symptoms, but it's not depression, right? So how would you find out that whether you are suffering from depression or anxiety? When you see these symptoms, always go to a professional, right? Go to a psychologist, talk to them about it, and they can help you diagnose whether you have anxiety or you have depression. Do not go to someone who has no idea, and they can say anything, and then you will take wrong information and it can affect you in a big time, okay? So always go and see a professional. So now, what are the various sources of depression? Now, various sources in most of the cases is because there is a breakup, relationship breakdown, or separation, or you lost someone you love, or you are not able to achieve what you set as a goal, and you're taking it too hard on you, whether it is your what you set for your career or your studies or whatever. So these are some sources which can convert into depression, right? Depending on how strongly you were attached with that particular emotion, right? So reason could be anything, but the process is exactly the same. And that is, it doesn't happen overnight, it takes time. So if you diagnose something that this is not right, then you will be able to prevent it, okay? So if let's say if you are suffering from depression, what is the first thing to do? The first thing to do is to acknowledge that you have a problem. That is your 50% work done. You're 50% towards recovery already, towards healing already. Why? Because a lot of people think, no, I can't be depressed. No, depression is not for me. Sometimes they think, oh, I'm too masculine to tell that I'm depressed. So the moment you acknowledge it, it's easier for you to find a solution, because if there is a problem, then only there is a solution. If there is no problem, there is no solution. Okay. So identify, acknowledge it, and then say to yourself that I think something is not right. I should take an advice from someone who's a professional, go and see a psychologist. Okay. Maybe it was just an anxiety, you are thinking that it was depression. So psychologists can tell you that it's not a depression, it's just an anxiety, which is fine because you're doing this. So you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure that you don't do this and this. It's easy, right? But in some cases, which are genuine cases, for example, one of my friend, we used to work together. He got separated from his partner. He had like 2 kids, and they were together for like 13, 14 years. And then one day his partner decided that no, it's not gonna work. She's not happy in the relationship. She want to get separated. Like, this guy had no idea what happened, and it hit him like he didn't saw it coming. So I met him, and I always used to ask him, how you doing, dude? He was like, yeah, I'm fine, dude. I said, if you need to talk, you can always talk. He said, no, I'm good, I'm fine. And then I found out that he was relying on alcohol and smoking and all the kind of things. So I called him once and I said, dude, have you cried? And he said, no, I haven't. I said, dude, you need to cry. He said, what do you mean? I said, because it's a natural process of grieving. If you do not follow the natural process, what's going to happen is that thing which you have, it's like a seed, you have planted a seed and you're not doing the natural process, it will become a tree inside you. So I spoke to him and I said that, why are you feeling that she did wrong towards you? And he said, oh, because she didn't told me this and that. I said, you know what is making you suffer more? He said, what is it? I said, because she left you physically, but psychologically or spiritually, she is still there. You're still holding on to her very tightly. So I had a very good chat with him. I made him do, it's a neuro-linguistic programming technique where you make them imagine while they're going through the emotion. So he was crying, he was talking, and I started suggesting him with various suggestions, and I made him imagine and let her go in his subconscious mind. So till that time, when he was looking at his partner, he could see her there, her face. All I did was I turned that face in his subconscious memory and I made him imagine that she is leaving him in his subconscious state of mind. The moment we did that, after a week or so, I called him again and he was like, dude, I'm doing so good. It was just like life-changing. He got back into, games. He was playing games and he quit smoking, he quit drinking, and he said, that's amazing. And then after a couple of months, he ended up in a relationship with someone else, and he was never that happy before. He was so happy with this person, new person, and he didn't realize that what he was missing out. So what happened is, it happens with everyone that somebody comes in our life, we make physical bond with them and psychological or spiritual bond. So when these people leave our life, they physically leave us, but psychologically they don't leave us. They are still there. So if somehow you make them leave psychologically within your subconscious mind, or spiritually you let them go, you will experience that there is nothing to be worried or there is nothing to be sad about, right? But then again, if during that time you talk to someone who has no idea what to talk, they can drag you into more chronic depression than anything else. Okay, so this was one scenario, and then you've got other scenarios which can cause depressions. So, but this is what happens in most of the cases. Not most, I would say, yeah, but majority of the cases. So my suggestion is that always go and see a professional, and always talk about it. Now, so this was the symptoms of depression. In this video, I've spoken about what is the loop of energy, how it is physically and psychologically interrelated, how to identify that you've got these issues and what are the main issues. Now in my next video, I'm going to talk about 10 ways of dealing with these depression. 10 ways. Okay guys, if you like the video, please like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment box and I'll try my best to answer those questions for you. So thank you for watching my video and have a good day.